I now call Mr. Richard Partridge. Now, you are Mr. Richard Partridge, a senior partner in the firm of Partridge, Wren and Finch, stockbrokers of Throgmorton Street.
I am.
Now, Mr. Partridge, as an expert witness, you have been present in court throughout this case, and you have heard various views expressed as to the efficacy or otherwise of astrological predictions.
I have.
Yes, now, what, in fact, is your view?
I think astrology can be very efficacious.
Do you really? In what way?
In making fools of people and in persuading people to make fools themselves.
I see. Then you do not think there's any real foundation for astrological predictions?
To estimate character or to prognosticate future events by observation of the configuration of constellations is as futile an exercise as predicting the winner of the Grand National from an examination of the entrails of a goat.
Exactly. So what you are saying, in fact, is that astrological predictions are absolute nonsense.
Total nonsense, although I should add that when they are put forward simply for our amusement, they are harmless nonsense.
But not when they interfere with the stock exchange.
When they attempt seriously to influence investors in the highly technical field of investment, they cease to be harmless and become dangerous.
Thank you very much, Mr. Partridge.
Now, Mr. Partridge, do you know anything about astrology?
Not a great deal, no.
Well, were you aware that it is the oldest of all sciences, having been practiced by the Egyptians, the Hindus, and the Etruscans?
Nonsense is nonsense, however long it has been practiced.
And that it was systematized by the Arabs at the same time as they laid down the rules for arithmetic and algebra?
No.
Well, you wouldn't regard arithmetic and algebra as nonsense, would you?
Certainly not.
Why not?
Why not? Because I have studied them myself.
Well, exactly, but you have not studied astrology. Then why do you feel entitled to condemn it?
On grounds of pure common sense, sir, I refuse to believe that the topography of heavenly bodies can in any way affect the affairs of this world.
I see, but surely, Mr. Partridge, in your mysterious world of the stock exchange, surely you must have heard of, star-crossed lovers.
Well, such a phrase...
I'm in some confusion here. Sir Joshua, my notes tell me that Mr. Partridge here is a member of, a senior partner of Partridge, Wren and Finch, a firm of stockbrokers. Is that right?
That is so, my lord.
Yes, and as such, he is present now as an expert witness.
He is, my lord.
Possibly I'm getting deaf, Sir Joshua, but, it sounded as if you'd asked him something about star-crossed lovers.
Well, I did, my lord.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Partridge. Please let us have your opinion on, what was it, Sir Joshua?
Star-crossed lovers, my lord.
Star-crossed lovers.
Well, my lad, I imagine that lovers, being ex-hypothesi in a romantic and generally frivolous state of mind, may observe the stars and imagine that they are in some way influenced by them.
Yes, but they have no direct effect.
Well, speaking of myself and Mrs. Partridge, I can assure the court that the stars have had no noticeable effect upon our pre-matrimonial activities.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'd just begun to hope that even stockbrokers...
Well, now, what about the moon?
I don't follow.
Well, you wouldn't deny that the moon affects the tides of the sea.
Possibly, but not the tides of the human mind.
What about moon murderers?
Moon what?
Murderers.
Sir Joshua, must I remind you again, Mr. Partridge here is a respectable stockbroker.
Yes, I know that, my lord. Yes, I'm quite aware of that, my lord. But I do assure your lordship that the purpose of my examination will become apparent to you soon.
Very well, Sir Joshua, we must live in hope, mustn't we? Mr. Partridge, as a specialist in this field, please tell Sir Joshua how you feel about, what was it?
Moon murderers.
That's right, moon murderers.
Well, my lad, assuming that such creatures exist outside the realms of fiction, I imagine that it is possible that if sufficiently mentally deranged, they might observe the moon and assume that in some way it was signaling to them that the moment was apt for the commission of further antisocial acts.
Then he is influenced by the moon?
Yes, but he is insane. A lunatic.
I don't think I need any more questions, my lord.